Okay. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Jnanatine Om Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. So Hare Krishna everyone. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so today we will be discussing 5.12, and so I'm just going to recite that again. So, Yukta karma phalam tyaktva santi apnoti naistike ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibhajate. So, the translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Would anyone like to read the purport?
I'll read, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is it okay to read?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute somebody else. Okay. Go on, Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, everybody. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the results of his activities. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the results of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one's functioning in the concept of duality, that is, without knowledge of the absolute truth. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness. But one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Krishna in the platform of peace and fearlessness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so just to recap, what we've been reading about. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna starts with two thoughts at the beginning. So one, action leads to bondage. So Arjuna didn't want to fight because he thought that he would get seen. So, any action has a reaction. So he didn't want any of that. So he said action leads to bondage. And then the second thought he had was that inaction leads to liberation. So, he was thinking that, he should not do anything. Maybe, he said that I would like to run away to the mountains and meditate and do things like that. But in this chapter, Krishna says that there is a third option available to him, which is detached action. So this chapter is about karma yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So we've heard in the last few sessions about how the actions lead us to bondage or, how to free ourselves. And yesterday we heard about how to use our senses in the Lord's service. So we're going to carry on with this. So today, really, this verse is about, somebody who can act in Krishna consciousness or somebody who can, act, but, they are getting bondage. So there are some words in this verse that I just wanted to go through. So the first one is yoga. I mean, we all know about this. Would anyone like to tell me what is yoga? You can just unmute and speak, whoever would like to.
Linking with the Supreme.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Krishna Mataji. Yes, so yoga is linking with Supreme. So linking with Supreme and linking with the process of devotional service. So bhakti revives the link with the Supreme. And, this has been broken because we have forgotten God. We have left Krishna and we've come here and we've forgotten him. So this link has been broken. So we now want to link again with Krishna. And then the next word is yuktaha. So yuktaha just means engage in this yoga. So in nishkama yoga. So nishkama karma yoga, yogi is described in this purport. So he's attached to Krishna, working for Krishna and not attached to the result, only doing their duty. So they are aloof from their, whatever their workings of their body. And they give up the attachment to the fruits, whatever they gain from doing that work. So actually, if we think about it, although Arjuna said to Krishna that I don't want to fight and, I don't want to do any of this, but, actually we can't actually say that, and no one works without motive. So if we don't have a motive, then we won't feel motivated. Anything we do, we have to have a motive, a goal that I want to do this so that I can do that. So, without that, then we won't be motivated to do anything. We'll just be like, oh, do I do it or don't do it? It doesn't matter. So what Krishna is saying here is that have a motive. but offer the fruits, the results to Krishna. And only such a person finds peace if we do this. And then the next and the other word that I wanted to just go through first was ayuktaha. So ayuktaha is somebody who is seeking fame or adoration or profit. So they, whatever they're doing it for themselves. So their motivation is desire for worldly enjoyment. So not for the pleasure of Krishna, but for the pleasure of themselves or their families or something like that. So they're very attached to the fruits of their actions. So, if they get what they want, then they're very happy. If they don't get what they want, then they become very, very distressed. So it's all based on themselves. It's all about themselves. And, there is an analogy in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Narad Muni gives. So Narad Muni talks about, a conditioned soul is like, they just want to enjoy, always going from one activity to another activity, seeking pleasure. But sometimes they're getting happiness, sometimes they're getting distress. And a street dog, so in the analogy, he talks about the street dog. So the dog also goes from place to place to place. And we see this, that they're just roaming around the streets. And they're just looking, what are they looking for? They're looking for just a morsel of food, they want something to eat. And then sometimes, some people, they're kind and they give the dog a little bit of food. Sometimes they shoo the dog away. Sometimes they even mistreat the dogs. We see this as well, they're kicking and mistreating the dog. And just like that, the conditioned soul is doing this. So they're going round and round in the circle of birth and death, the cycle of samsara. And sometimes, we're getting happiness. Sometimes we are being shooed away from happiness. And sometimes we get so much distress. We're being mistreated by this material world, which is illusion. We're getting distressed by all these things that are coming to us. So, but we have this need for adoration, for all these things, for our sense gratification. So, I was just listening to His Holiness Bhakti Rasamitra Maharaj, and he was telling a story about this sannyasi. So, this sannyasi, he went to USA and he went to a temple. So, there was a program happening and they invited him to speak. So he went and then he was talking, he was giving a class there. And then he saw that there was a chief minister of India who came there as well. Now, this sannyasi was from India, so he knew who this person was. So when this chief minister came in, he only had a couple of people with him and they came and sat down and nobody made a fuss. Everyone just carried on with whatever was happening. So nobody looked at him or anything. Now, in India, this same person, he walks around with bodyguards. If he's going somewhere, there are sirens and cars and, all sorts of things accompanying him. And, everyone would notice that this person is passing by or this person has come. Is such an important person. But here, nobody was taking notice of him. And it's the same for us, in this world. We have sometimes get a little bit of fame, we get a little bit of prestige, we have opulence, and we have all of these things. But when we go out of the sphere of this material world, then, no one will know us. So, whatever we have, we're going to live here and no one will say that, oh yeah, you were famous when you were there, or, you were so opulent or anything like that. So, then what is the point? Then that's the thing, that what is the point of all of this? We are working so hard to gain all these material things, and, these are the fruits of our hard labor. So then in this verse, we see that it talks about peace and fearlessness. So what is the formula for this? The formula is Krishna consciousness. So service of the Lord brings ecstatic love and happiness. So, so when we are trying to serve ourselves or serve this world, which is Maya, illusion, then it brings entanglement to us. And, illusion is when we think that the soul thinks that I am the body. So, the soul thinks that I am the body, but the soul is not the body. So we are the soul inside that body. And the soul is not to satisfy the needs of the body, rather, it is the purpose of the body to satisfy the needs of the soul. But sometimes we see that it's the opposite way. So I repeat again, it is the purpose of the body to satisfy the soul. So we should use this body to make the soul happy. And we all know what makes the soul happy. The soul is only happy when it's connected to Krishna. And, we all want pleasure because, the soul is Sachitananda. So the soul is everlastingly happy and it's seeking that happiness in this world as well. So, we are seeking that, but, we don't want any pain. Who wants pain in this world? Nobody's looking around for pain. We can't tolerate pain or difficulty that we go. And, sometimes I think that when we are in pain or distress, we complain so much. But who complains when there is happiness? I've never heard anyone saying, oh my goodness, there's so much happiness. I'm too happy. Why is there so much happiness in my life? Nobody complains of that. But we complain of, the difficulties in our life. But our soul is always happy. It's due to this in living in this material world and this body that we're getting this distress. And we can see examples from the Mahabharata how the Pandavas wanted to do what was prescribed for them. So the duty that God had given them, they wanted to offer everything to the Lord. And on the other hand, we saw that the Kauravas wanted to exploit. They were exploiting the resources of the nature. They were exploiting the citizens. They were trying to exploit everything to the maximum, just for their greed to be fulfilled. And they wanted more and more. See, greed can never be fulfilled because it's the senses that are greedy. The soul is eternal and is longing for unlimited pleasure, unlimited love, and eternal satisfaction. But it can only find that in relationship with Krishna. So the soul, has that is trying to enjoy through this temporary vehicle, and this body of ours is the temporary vehicle through which the soul is trying to enjoy. But can the body satisfy the eternal bliss of Krishna? No, because, the body is also material. So it can't do that. Therefore, so, however much we accumulate, however much we enjoy, we are never satisfied. Always we want more, we are seeking for more. So it's a bit like, when you're in a desert and someone gives you a drop of water. So, just for that second when the drop of water goes on your tongue, you're so blissful. But then immediately what happens is, you're thirsty again because that drop really didn't quench your thirst. So you're thirsty. So then you think, oh, I have to have more. I need more water. I need more water. And, that aggravates our condition. So, like another example is, there might be people who are millionaires or billionaires, but they're still not satisfied. They're still working day and night trying to get more. There are examples of people, they won the national lottery. And what happened? Was it happy ever after? No, we have seen so many stories in the newspaper. Actually, their life gets ruined by this. Their relationships break down. Some of them just use up all the money. and then, they're back into poverty or something like that because, they misuse whatever they've been given. Or, we can see the example of people who drink alcohol. When they start drinking, they're never satisfied because, first they get that pleasure and then they want more, then they're never satisfied. And soon they become addicted and then they can't live without it. So, these are all examples of how, when we have something, we want more, because we are never satisfied. But the Bhagavad Gita actually explains that the real intelligence is that we are trying to satisfy the body, but it's actually the soul, and the soul wants Krishna. So our satisfaction will only come in Krishna consciousness. So, and then in this verse, it talks about what is our duty. So how can we do action in a detached way? So, we offer our fruits to Krishna, our results. So the results are not for us. Whatever we do, we're doing for Krishna. So we have to channel our energy through our occupational propensities. So, and doing it in service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So everyone can do this with sincerity and proper guidance. So, Krishna says in the verse 9.27, which Divya Gaurangi Mataji actually recited yesterday, Yad Karoshi, Yad Asnasmi. So, I'll just read the translation again. So he says, "O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me." So, we should offer it to Krishna. So whatever you're doing and whatever occupation you are in. So, Arjuna wanted to live in the middle of the battle. And, he's a Kshatriya, that's his occupation. So he can't leave and run away. So, like that, we might be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, or a housewife or a shopkeeper, whatever we are. We can't just say, okay, I'm not going to do my job. We have to do our job. We have to fulfill our duty. But the result is what we give to Krishna. The result is not for us. We do it nicely and we do it for Krishna. So we just do our work for Krishna, and that will connect us to the divine, to Krishna. And then we will taste the nectar of that relationship with God. So we shouldn't give up our occupation or anything like that. So I was listening to Radhanath Maharaj's class, and Maharaj was saying that, he met somebody, he was an accountant, and he started challenging Maharaj, and he's saying that, all you people, you are all renunciates. And, like everyone, if everyone becomes a renunciate and, renounces everything, then who is going to be the doctor? Who is going to be a lawyer? Who is going to be the teacher in this society? We need all sorts of people in our society. So, what are you guys teaching everyone? And then Maharaj said to him that, yes, you're absolutely right, that if everyone becomes an accountant like you, then, who will be the doctor? Who will be the lawyer? So he was trying to say that it's not just that, it's us, but, everyone has to do their job according to their propensity. So, when we talk about the Varna Ashram system as well, that we all have a psychophysical nature. And, according to our psychophysical nature, we should do our occupation or our, ashram we should go into. So, we should not leave that. So that is something that we need to carry on accordingly. And then we offer the fruits to Krishna. So, whatever fruits we get from that occupation. So, so then we are simultaneously attached but detached. So not attached to the results. It's in God's hands, if we are successful or we have failure. So, if we, for example, so, a student might study really, really hard, and, they leave it to God, that, it's up to you. But academically, they might pass or fail, but, if they've done it sincerely, because it's their job, it's their job, the student's job, the duty is to study. So if they do it sincerely, then they please Krishna because they're doing what they're supposed to do. And then the success or the failure of the study that they've done, they leave that to Krishna because that's in Krishna's hand anyway. It's not in our hand. So it's like that. So, then they're using that knowledge, they're using that in Krishna's service because they pleased Krishna. And how can we do this? By having strong sadhana. So, if our sadhana is strong, then we will stay strong and we will know what, through that knowledge that comes to us by reading and, realization that this is what we need to do. This is how we can please Krishna. So there is a example in the, the Srimad Bhagavatam of Dhruva Maharaj. So, so Dhruva Maharaj was a little boy, and I'm sure you all know the story of Dhruva Maharaj. So I won't go into it in detail, but I'll just skim through it. So Dhruva Maharaj, his stepmother said to him, you can't sit on your father's lap. You are not going to get this kingdom, because you are not born of my womb. If you want to, then you have to be born from my womb. So Dhruva Maharaj was very, very hurt, and he says to his mother that, what do I do? And she said that, well, you can only take shelter of the Lord. And then Dhruva Maharaj said, so where is Vishnu? Where can I find him? And his mother says, in the forest. The yogis say that he's found in the forest. So Dhruva Maharaj goes there and he does a lot of austerities there in the forest. And, he's meditating and he's doing all these austerities. And then, Narad Muni visits him and gives him a mantra. He says, okay, you chant this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. You chant this, you do meditation. And then Dhruv Maharaj does this in a very dedicated way, and Lord Vishnu actually, comes in front of him. And when Lord Vishnu comes, he says that, yes, I bless you. You will get, so Dhruv Maharaj had actually gone because he wanted a bigger kingdom. He was thinking that, I want something even better than my father, because he had been insulted. So, Lord Vishnu comes and he says, yes, absolutely, I will give you a kingdom much, much greater than your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather. But by this time, because Dhruv Maharaj had been meditating on Lord Vishnu, and actually Lord Vishnu comes in front of him, he says that no, now I don't want anything. I've seen you, and I don't want anything, because he gets this realization that Krishna is everything, while he was trying to seek pleasure in the material world because he wanted a bigger kingdom. And he realizes this and he says, no, my Lord, I don't want anything now that I've seen you. I was looking for broken glass and I found the gem. So why would I want broken glass now? So, and then actually Krishna actually instructs him that, no, it's not that you don't do anything. I've now given you this kingdom and I would like you to become the king. I would like you to get married. I would like you to do all your duties and do those duties, but offer the results to me. So again, we can see here that, we can do all our duties, but we give the results to Krishna. So this is what this verse is talking about, that we do action, but we do it in a detached manner. We give the results to Krishna. We offer them to Krishna. And, it also talks about peace and fearlessness. So I'm just going to speak a little bit and then we'll finish. I've gone past 8:35. So peace and fearlessness. So I was just, reflecting on peace. And, I was reflecting on myself that before I came into Krishna consciousness, we were just living every day, going to work, working hard. Like, Srila Prabhupada says that mudas, like donkeys, we're just working day and night. We're working. What for? We're working so that we can get a little bit of money. And with that money, we try to enjoy ourselves. So, we were doing this as well until we came to Krishna consciousness. And once you come to Krishna consciousness, you feel sheltered. You feel that shelter, Krishna's shelter, Srila Prabhupada's shelter, all the devotees' shelter. And then you start feeling peaceful inside. The peace comes from inside. You feel really, really peaceful. And some of your fear then starts going away as well, because you're not worried about, you're not worried about what people think, or you're not doing what other people want you to do. Sometimes we live our lives for other people, don't we? So, our house must look a certain way because everyone's house looks like that, we live like that. So, that fear goes that, no, it doesn't matter. Whatever Krishna's given me, I'm happy with that. And whatever Krishna's given me, I offer it to him. This house becomes Krishna's property as well. So, we become fearless. And, there is one person in the Srimad Bhagavatam who stands out to me in fearlessness, and that's Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj, because of his connection with Krishna, he was so fearless. He didn't care about what his father Hiranyakashipu did to him. And Hiranyakashipu was totally opposite. He was so greedy. He was more focused on the results, the fruits of his labor. So he wanted more and more and more. He was never satisfied. He was performing austerities, for more things. I want to be more powerful. I want more things. So, Prahlad Maharaj, his son was the total opposite. So, he took shelter of Krishna and he became peaceful and he lost all his fear. So, time is up. So I think I'm going to stop here. So I don't know if anyone would like to share any more on this verse or any reflection. No? Okay, so if no one would like to share, then maybe we can finish here. Thank you again so much for giving me this opportunity to purify myself and take association of all of you. It is so great that you all come and attend these classes every single evening. I do try, but I fail, and I can't attend. So, all glories to all of you. So thank you very much. All glories to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha Ananta Koti Vaishnava.
Thank you, Mataji, for the
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class, Mataji.